Howdy folks, it is DIECAST Buffet here again, and what a finish to the Vegas race. Alex Bowman gets his 5th win at Hendrick Motorsports. Technically 6th, I mean 5th in the 48 car, but he wins at Vegas in a thrilling overtime final restart between the Hendrick Cats and Kyle Busch. Well, we got a lot to talk about here, guys, and make sure to go ahead and pre-order your 2022 Vegas race-winning Alex Bowman Chevrolet Camaro. It has confetti on it, I believe. The Victory Lane shots had confetti on the car. It's black and yellow. It's going to look awesome on a snow white painted race car. It's going to look fantastic, guys. Make sure you use the promo code down below. Code DIECASTBuffet at checkout for Circle B Diecast or Plan B sales. I would not be surprised a 164 gets offered. So stay tuned for that. Usually they don't offer the 164s immediately. Usually look into it Monday or possibly Tuesday, and they'll have it up there over at Circle B. So let's get into it. Alright, so this car, I'm telling you, I'm running out of things to say how amazing the Gen 7 race car is. And I'm not just blowing smoke, I'm literally meaning this car reminds me, it's almost identical to the Gen 4 style racing. These drivers are having a handful. The 12 cautions at Las Vegas, I don't think we've had 12 cautions at Las Vegas since probably the early 2000s. I mean, that's how insane this race was. Just great racing. Cars able to navigate through the pack. They're able to pass for the win. They're able to maintain the lead when they have a fantastic car. You didn't see the Mickey Mouse staying up front, clean air, 550 garbage we've seen for years. This is real racing. And Boyer, I mean, he said it like 3 times on air, and it's very reminiscent of the 05 to 06 Gen 4 car. That's what I was saying. I mean, it races just like Gen 4. It looks completely different, but the racing product is very, very similar. Sure, it's no longer as fast as a Gen 4, but these drivers are having a handful. This is what NASCAR fans have been talking about for the better part of a decade, and it's finally here in the sport. So, Kyle Larson, I believe, had the best car, but I think after he made some contact to the wall, it certainly went down. Kyle Busch and Martin Truex Jr. probably the best ones prepared for the long run as they truly, reared their heads, so to speak, at the end of the race. But I will say absolutely Ross Chastain, though, probably the most dominant car throughout the entire day, start to finish. Fantastic run for the Trackhouse team. Unfortunately, Suarez did crash out. But for the one car, man, oh man, I mean, Trackhouse Racing, they got some fast pieces. They nearly won Fontana last Sunday, and then Chastain having a career day. I mean, what a finish, man. It was just a great race. It really was. If you missed out on the Vegas race, you missed out on a really good one. And this is something I talked about, I believe, in the last video, is that Fontana proved that the Gen 7 car is a success at Fontana. But, how is this going to fare at a 1.5 mile track? And for a number of years, we look at, oh, we're going to Phoenix, oh, we're going to Richmond, or we're going to, for many years, Chicagoland, or Kentucky, or Texas, or whatever. You know what type of racing you're going to get. Probably 4 cautions, long green flag runs, and it's going to probably be between 2 or 3 cars going for the win. This car completely changes the game. I mean, when you go back and watch a 2000s Gen 4 style race, you see so many comers and goers. You see pitch strategy. You see 4-tire pit stops all the time because you need tires, right? Track position, it won them the race, but it did not pay dividends early in the race. Brad Keselowski having the issues there, Michael McDowell. So, yes, it won the race at the end, but you got to have 4 tires, much like you would always see at Fontana or Donington. But my point is that we usually expect 1.5 mile races to be very tame, very, I would say, very subtle, We don't expect it to be a demolition derby with 12 cautions. Instead, we got the complete opposite. So my point is that this car allows almost any racetrack on the circuit to be absolutely amazing. I'm telling you, 3 races, points-paying races thus far, it's a success as far as I'm concerned. Sure, we want to see how it's going to prolong throughout the season, how the teams be able to advance the car, the mechanical, aerodynamic sides of it. But no doubt, right out of the gate, it is a success thus far. I'm super curious how it's going to run at Phoenix, because Phoenix, for the last good part of, I'd probably say almost a decade, it has not been that good of a racetrack, especially the late Gen 6 era. So it's got Vegas. It's done great there. Done great at Fontana. Phoenix is a big test for it. We know it runs good at the bull ring, so to speak, at the Coliseum. But I cannot find enough words to say this Gen 7 car is exactly what the fans have been wanting. It is fantastic. I think everyone was extremely skeptical of it. I know I was. but I don't think they really did a good job explaining what is going to be so different about this car. A lot of us are still learning more and more about this race car week in and week out. Whether that's intentional or not, I would like to know everything about the new Gen 7 car because it also helps during the broadcasts. But absolutely, guys, Vegas was a fantastic race. I would probably put it at a 9.6 out of 10. You saw so much racing going on. It's almost like you go back and you watch the 2002 Vegas race. It's just, I'm telling you, man, it feels just like old school NASCAR. This is what the fans have been wanting. I would say if you're new to the sport right now, this is how the racing used to be. It didn't have stages, it didn't have playoffs or anything, but you used to see drivers just spin out of nowhere. They would spin out, mechanical failures, part failures. This is what the racing is about. Battle of attrition, holding on to that very, very difficult race car. But let's talk about Alex Bowman, man. Bowman, he is quietly becoming one of the best drivers in the Cup Series. I mean, you think about it. Yeah, he wins Chicagoland. Big shocker there, right? He goes and wins Fontana. That's a big shocker. He wins 4 races last year, and then he's already won another one this year. I hope it doesn't mean they're going to change Vegas, because every time he wins a race at a track, they either take away one of their race dates, they reconfigure it, or they just don't race there anymore. So Vegas hopefully doesn't lose one of their 2 dates. If they do, then the Alex Bowman quote-unquote curse continues. But what a great day for the 48 camp. They just show up, they just steal it. Very reminiscent of Richmond last year. Chase Elliott, though, he did not have a good run today. I mean, he showed a little bit of some flashes, but he never had a car to maintain throughout the runs. I just think they're searching. I think they're in the same boat Denny Hamlin's in right now. Ironically enough, they're just searching. They're not there yet. They're still learning. And that's the beauty of this race car. Is there's people who have found it right now, which obviously Larson has. I would say Trackhouse Racing has. Perhaps you could even throw in Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who ran really good today. He had some good runs. There's teams that have found speed early on, but there's teams like Hamlin. Teams like, I would say Martin Truex Jr., he's been kind of hot or cold, and especially Chase Elliott, that are still definitely searching here. But I want to know what y'all think, guys. Make sure to comment down below. What did y'all think about the Vegas race? I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. Even just watching Kyle Busch and Martin Truex Jr. go at it, just duke and dive, Truex would take the lead, crossover move with Kyle Busch, and they would just keep doing this for like 10 laps straight. This is racing, man. I just cannot stress it enough. They need to keep this Gen 7 car exactly how it is. Find a way to keep the racing product like this, guys. Don't make any horsepower changes. Don't reduce it. If you're going to add any, that's cool, but don't reduce it. Don't add any more downforce. Keep these cars exactly what they're at. This is fantastic. And I'll even end the video on this, guys. They need to find a way to keep the teams from advancing on these cars, because if these teams get a hold of this Gen 7 car like they do the Gen 6, the racing we see right now is going to be a far gone conclusion. So I'm hoping that the spec chassis is going to prohibit the teams from truly dominating with this car, keeping them from modifying those parts. But definitely, man, this is an awesome freaking race, man. I loved it. So happy Bowman won. That is awesome. The 48 back in victory lane at Vegas for the first time in a long time. I want to say it was 08 or 09. I think, no, 09 was won by Kyle Busch. I think he won in 06. I know for sure Jimmy Johnson did, but I remember he winning somewhere else down the line at Vegas. So, anyways, folks, thank y'all so much for watching the video. Again, make sure to pre-order your 2022 Vegas Race to Win 48 diecast. And also, all the 2022 cars, I expect them to be somewhat out within the next 2 months. Hopefully. Hopefully. A lot of the release dates are showing June, but I'm hoping maybe we'll get an early shipment. Fingers crossed. Make sure to go ahead and get yours pre-ordered. All your 2022 NASCAR merchandise. Oh my goodness, man. I know LW3 is going to love that Bowman car. Hopefully they get a 124 and a 164 produced of it with the Pennzoil colors all over it. Moving forward, though, Phoenix is coming up. That's going to be another huge test because Phoenix, I'll be honest with you, it's one of the most least interesting tracks on the circuit for me. So if it runs fantastic at Phoenix, it is going to, this car is going to be a hit. Right now, it is all good signs as far as I'm concerned. Thank y'all again for watching. Hope you're having a fantastic day out there, guys. Diecast Buffet. Signing off.